Hey Richard, this isn't a big deal. I was just trying to see what components of my current course selection I could, mesh with next year. Lucked out because the Sadawi book is in our selection, so I just started looking ahead and see what else I could start reading in terms of getting prepared for next year. And there's a couple things that caught my attention. This is also what I didn't see before. You and I discussed the idea that I guess my future predecessor, current language and lit teacher, was doing all of the language component in year one, and then going to do the lit component in year two. And obviously, yeah, as we mentioned before, it's not an ideal scenario. For one, I mean, as we know, the language assessment components are much easier in terms of skills and the tasks that are required of them in comparison to lit. So, I mean, if these kids aren't even shown what an oral commentary looks like until second year with 3 months to prepare, it's not good for obvious reasons. And also the paper two business. It's just so much. The lit component is with anything, obviously, in terms of the assessments, it's just so much more demanding. And it just doesn't really work with the program being language and lit. I mean, what you're doing, you have a language course one year, and then you're basically teaching an English lit DP course in year two with a minimum amount of time given the exams. There's a couple things. I'm assuming the syllabus you gave me here is high level because it doesn't say if it's standard. I think all the kids are probably high level over there. There's a couple of weird things on here. Obviously, the whole language and lit. Part one is a language and cultural context. The text themselves should be a sort of a smidgen or a sort of a selection of different types of text, but there's this very specific literary component here, which shouldn't be there. The literary component is reserved for, I mean, as we know, it's part three and part four, part three being taught last. So I'm not really sure what these three texts are. Don't get me wrong, I like the Woman in Point Zero. I want it to be on there because that's one of the few I've actually taught before. Yeah, this little bit here just basically goes over what I explained before about the lack of balance in the program. Ideally, a holistic approach is fantastic redoing, lit in conjunction with language, but to truly, to not even touch lit in year one is really going to be horrible. Here's a weird little thing. The first bit makes sense because if it's obviously it's high level, because high level kids get 3 works in each lit component. Standard level kids get 2 lit components. It says here 3 works, but it lists 4, so I'm not really sure which of these 4 should be the 3, if you know what I'm saying. And that's it. I just want to clarify the text for next year, and also there seems to be a bit of a debate out there in terms of language and lit teachers about, uploading or revision of syllabi for diploma. Some people say, you have to send it off and they come back and approve it, which, I mean, that just makes sense with any DP course. But according to our current DP coordinator and a couple of people I've talked to in the OCC, they don't require it. And I just wanted to ask you as a department head, what do you know about that? When does ASIG send their stuff off? Because obviously, I mean, there's a number issue there. And I think if they saw this syllabus, something would have came back. Also, a little concerned, I'm not concerned, but just curious in terms of flexibility. I don't generally like teachers to come in and just start messing with things because obviously there's a set curriculum. But going down to some of these where, there needs to be 3 texts, but there's 4, if there's a preference, maybe we have some say-so about which ones are on there. And if any potentiality of sort of supplanting one text, how do you feel about, changing one out? If it had comparable themes and still worked with that specific literature part. I appreciate it. Thanks again, and look forward to meeting you.